this in your hands. When they remember, they give you a fork. When they don't remember, I just kind of do this number.
Sorry about that.
No worries. And are we good on Twitch?
Yep, reconnected.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So now just repeating the last couple seconds. So with your occult knowledge, it makes absolute sense that somebody would have done some sort of rite that they pulled out of their butt, but because they're powered with death energies and they believe it should work, it works.
Okay.
That if somebody disturbs this grave site, they're aware.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do that because I don't want to make them mad.
Right. Does anyone else looking at these numbers? Does anybody else do some sort of searching? I will say the date they all died is 1983.
Can I pull it up on my phone? Like, can I just like kind of look about this area and that time frame?
Yeah. You don't even need like a computer check. If you do this area in that time frame, that was the year that the Amana High School, I have no idea what their mascot is, the Fighting Amanas, was like on track to be first place in their basketball division.
Mm-hmm.
Did
their coach and some of their players die or something?
The coach and some of the players died in a bus crash.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So some of the players did survive and the driver survived, but was like paralyzed.
Is there any reports of like somebody that they thought had died, like then getting better miraculously? Or I'm looking for things that remind me of Eric's situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There was reports of the Star Center.
Mm-hmm.
It was believed that his skull, like when the EMTs arrived on the site, the bus, from reports, had basically fallen over on his skull.
Oh.
So they basically counted him as dead and moved on to pulling out the people that seem to still be alive.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time they had gathered all the people who were still alive and performed like emergency on-site medical to the people that were barely hanging on to life, they heard groaning and moaning, and he was pulling himself up very slowly, injured but alive.
I'm assuming that lists his name.
It does list his name. Is Luke Billings.
Luke Billings, great. Okay, I will let them know what I found and that we can stick around here, but I'm not necessarily sure he'll show up, but I at least have enough information that we can find him and talk to him without, doing something like disturbing the graves and making him angry. And let's not do that.
Is there anything else that we could maybe glean from this place that might help us later?
Everyone is welcome to do one final occult check, and this is absolutely occult. If you have a ghost spec, I'll allow the +1. I know ghosts and spirits are statted the same, but they're narrative.
Ooh, my gosh.
Three successes.
I'm going to expend my informed condition, and then for this graveyard, to make it mine an exceptional.
I have 5 successes. I'm going to take the inspired condition.
I spent willpower on the check. I have 8 successes. I will also take inspired.
Nice. Okay, John.
No, I don't have any. I'm not gonna.
Not even trying
again.
I'm
still trying to figure out what's going on with trying to open the secret place in this graveyard.
He's trying to shake stone hands with statues.
No, actually, now I'm concerned that all of the statues in the graveyard are weeping angels from Doctor Who.
What's a weeping angel? No kidding.
Anyways, so everyone, the careful way upon further examination that like the flowers have been laid and like the grass has been cut perfectly to the perimeter of that graveyard, of that specific grave plot. This seems like it's some sort of seal. People that got exceptionals, it looks like this isn't so much a paying respect for my dead homies and more a my dead homies are really agitated. And so I'm just keeping them calm.
Mm-hmm.
So your best shot in the dark guess is if whatever this ritual is was not performed on the regular, angry ghost would be angry.
Hey, let's not have that.
Yeah, no. That sounds awful.
So there you go. So you learned a lot. With Jim's mad computer skills, you should be able to have no issue hunting down where Luke is.
Right. And he can't be too far away if he's got to do this all the time.
Right.
So I guess then the next step as far as the whole situation with Eric is concerned is talking to Eric, because before we introduce him to another one of his kind, I want to make sure he's a part of the pack first. So that if they have their own social structure in order, we get dibs, basically.
Fair.
I mean, this is werewolf culture. If we pee on him, he's ours.
Yeah, but they're not werewolves, and there's no guarantee that they'll respect that. But if when Eric goes to have that conversation, he's like, yeah, I'm already a member of a werewolf pack, then I don't give a shit what their social order and structure says.
Their social order and structure may say they don't give a rat's one way or the other. In which
And that's
case,
fine.
yay.
But we don't know that, and so I'd rather prep for,
I agree.
we licked him, he's ours.
Okay, cool. So you head back to the farm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you get back to the farm, there is a Lincoln Town car parked in the gravel lot where the families leave their vehicles. And one of the farmhands or not one of the farmhands, Fisher, noticing that you've arrived, actually puts his pole down and comes running over. And he's like, hey, guys?
Yeah.
Ma's in there, give it tea to one of my kind and something else.
Oh!
Your kind can drink tea?
Like, look at Spooky like he has
Right.
two heads.
Right. Like,
Does he have two heads?
Not currently.
I feel like this is a necessary question at this
Maybe
point.
later today.
do you think that they're a danger?
They said that they were doing a favor for a friend and they needed to speak with Uncle Ben and a few others.
Okay.
These might be who we've been expecting.
Okay. What is it? Daytime,
Yeah.
David? Okay. Cool.
If not, we can just take him out back and tear him a new one.
Tearing
Exactly.
people a new one is always Spooky's answer.
Not the numbers.
Very
And they're on your property. So. Hey.
Okay.
But Fisher was like, yeah, I get nervous around my own kind when I wasn't expecting a visitor, so I just figured I'd tell you.
No, appreciate it.
Yep. And so he goes back to fishing nervously.
Let's go ahead and go inside then.
Yeah,
Or at least some of them go inside. Actually, someone go inside and tell them we'll meet them in the barn.
I'll go lure them outside.
Okay. That wording.
I will go to the barn.
Okay. Does everybody else go to the barn?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So, so Chloe goes in through the front door, and you can hear jovial laughter. Ma and a few of the farmhands are sitting around the kitchen table with a man and a woman, both wearing religious garb. This seems to your character, of course, is academic, so I won't make you roll. It seems to be of a Catholic type. The man is wearing a priest collar. The woman is wearing, like, you know how nuns have different tiers of formality.
Mm-hmm.
Not max formal, but like I'm covering my hair.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sitting there, they're enjoying cups of tea. When Ma sees you walk in, goes, "Chloe, dear, this here is," and the priest goes, "Not important," and the nun goes, "Oh, so not important, man." And it's like, yes, they've been waiting for you.
Oh, great. And I will like walk over and give Ma like a kiss on the forehead as a hello, and I will be, well, Mr. and Miss Not Important, do you want to join my friends and I in the barn?
Of course. Lead the way. And they look at Ma. "Thank you so much for your hospitality," and like finish their tea, put the cup down, follow you. You can feel the priest like staring through you. Like once there's not other like people around,
Mm-hmm.
like it's that look that you may, being a supernatural in the Chronicles of Darkness, may have actually experienced once or twice before. It's like somebody's examining your soul.
Lovely. Chloe's gonna take them back to the barn.
Okay. Terror birds in the barn.
When isn't the terror bird in the barn?
Terror birds in the barn. So's the thing behind the rose. So's the knowledge spirit. And Anthony's conveniently missing from this scene. So priest walks in. Nun walks in.
Priest and a nun walk into a barn.
Walk into a barn.
This is a terrible start to a joke.
Okay. Does anyone have any sort of, and I know Forsaken aren't the top like A or S tier on this, but do any of you have any sort of gifts or merits that are like, I know some information about that supernatural thing that you'd like to activate?
Nope.
Not presently, but we'll see.
Okay, cool. Cool. So walk forward. The priest says, "Apologies for the lack of a name to your lovely matriarch. It's just better if none of them remember that we were even there. I am called File Zero by the organizations that I am with. This is my assistant, Hearth," gestures to the nun. She gives a friendly nod. "We represent the Juramide, members of the Sworn fighting against the spread of the contagion. We were made aware through contacts that some of you might have become exposed."
Yes.
It's not really a might here.
Wonderful.
Myself and point at Spooky, we are still infected. Chloe has gotten over hers.
Very well.
I'm barely keeping things together, and I mean that literally.
And I will pull back my hood from the hoodie that I've been wearing and make it, which says they're very obvious. I ain't just a person.
Wonderful. Okay. You see his eyes go up just like a few inches, but he doesn't seem like shocked. Does Spooky stay in human form for now?
Spooky is staying in human form for now.
There you go. Very well. So the procedures of purging the contagion. Well, let me rewind a bit. Silver lining. The contagion has not grasped the hold of your minds. The contagion often manifests in manners that makes those infected not desire treatment, which makes it very difficult to have civil discussions like this. The contagion often manifests in ways that are dangerous to anybody that would approach the affected just by default. It doesn't, since we are 6 feet away from you and our skin isn't melting off or on fire, you are not infected with one of those strains of the contagion. So those are all good things. Another good thing. My colleague here, after we perform some tests and examinations, does have the specific gift of purging the infection from people's bodies. It is very, very painful and incredibly exhausting to my friend. We will do the test. We will verify that we can cleanse you. And if we can, we would ask at least of the ones that my friend here has to cleanse, we would ask that you be available to be called for at least one mission down the road. And we would not do a Hollywood style, we wake you up in the middle of the night and say, we're calling in the favor. It would be a, we have bought you tickets to Los Angeles for 2 weeks from now. Please have your bags ready.
What
Sort of.
kind of mission?
The contagion is everywhere.
So
yes,
a kind.
but is it a...
No. File Zero allows himself a smile and says, we use assets where they are best used. So yes, we would most likely call you in for a type of contagion that talking is not an option, and we've reached the stage where with his mortal shaped hands, that is the result.
All right, I'm done.
All right.
That seems like a reasonable request.
Okay then. And he sees that there's some chairs here, and he's like, "Do you mind? The examination takes a while." And all right, so
Would you like a drink?
that would be lovely. If your matriarch has any more of that lovely iced tea, it'd be wonderful. And you know she does. She always keeps a pitcher. And as soon as the pitcher's about to run out, she makes another. So, okay.
We will make them comfortable.
Right. So, pulls up chair, sits down. Includes you, Chloe, in the testing phase because you were infected.
Mm-hmm.
The first stage of testing, and they allow your whole pack to be present. I mean, you don't call in your whole pack, but they allow all the players to be present and the terror bird.
The cat might be nearby.
The cat's nearby.
Dogs might be nearby.
The dog's definitely nearby. The dog's been very worried about you, Uncle Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs, it's believed dogs can smell certain sicknesses. So it basically consists of a long medical questionnaire from File Zero, while Hearth does like a thorough eye dagger scan of the person answering. And 99% of the questions in the questionnaire are things you might actually be asked or have been asked at some point in your life. History of cancer in the family, previous medical procedures, how often do you smoke, how often do you drink, how
often have you eaten something contaminated by the contagion?
Right.
The answer is hydrovenom.
Right. When they ask if you have any allergies you know of, does anybody say silver?
No.
Is that really an allergy?
Chloe stops and looks like she's about to answer that question with that answer, and then no.
No.
That's a Bane. There is a difference.
Doesn't make me sneeze. It
I mean,
makes me die.
sometimes hay fever makes me feel like I've taken ag, but no.
Right. Okay. At the end of that, which takes like a good 45 minutes, File Zero looks at Hearth. Hearth looks at File Zero, and they stare at each other for a bit. It probably was only 30 seconds, but it felt like it entered that long, awkward phase. Like they stared long enough that it's like, guys, can you stop your telepathy conversation?
I think they're communicating, but I'm not sure how.
Even at the speed of thought, they're taking a long time to have this conversation.
So, okay. And
while this is going on, I'd like to use a power.
Go for it.
I want to read the world loom.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Good roll on that one, too. Also 8 successes, so I can ask 2 questions. I'm going to check on what's supernatural in our territory right now.
Woo!
And let's see.
DM, give me the answers.
Right?
There was a weird thing with the shadow around here earlier, wasn't there? Or the gauntlet?
There was a weird thing with our territory, period, that we hadn't yet identified further.
Okay.
Specifically,
threats again.
Okay.
So threats, because that's always just a good one to have. Okay. So what I will give you, I'll do the second question first. There is no current threats, but you get the sense off of File Zero and Hearth that they are a threat avoided. So, if things would have gone differently, they could have been hostile. But you do not sense that they are hostile or a threat now. What supernaturals are in the area? Other than the ones that should be, there is a additional will worker other than Fisher. And there is, I don't think this has ever been under your use of this. There is a creature that seems to be made out of pure fate.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, but it does all add up that your power is pinging these two because there's exactly 2 more supernaturals than you normally detect. Which also makes sense with what you were told. You were expecting supernaturals, just these people. It's daytime, so you can rule out vampire. And they're not your kind, or they would have been like, werewolf brother, hey. We'll show actual proper respect while entering your territory instead of just coming in and drinking like your grandma's tea. So at the end of their mind talking, they give each other brief head nods, and then File Zero looks at Chloe and says, "Congratulations, you are cleared."
Great, thank you.
Also, good news for you two, looking between Uncle Ben and Spooky. it looks like the infection has not spread deep enough that you cannot be cured, which means Hearth can in fact cure you.
That's good.
Yes, that's very good. So we have worked with some of your kind before, but neither of us are experts. How likely are you to lose control of yourself if exposed to intense pain?
Define intense.
Depends on how long, really.
All right. Hearth is going to will the fire she is literally made out of. And he gestures as if you can see, but Hearth does not feel like dumping all her glamour, so she still just looks like a nun. Hearth is going to fill the infected parts of your body with that fire and literally burn the contagion out of you. You will survive, but it will be the feeling of having parts of you that are inside on fire.
I will give an estimate about how long that will take before it turns into a problem.
Okay. So we will leave it up to you whether or not you feel you need to be restrained. You feel we need to gag you somehow so you don't panic everybody at your farm.
Restraints might not work the best. Just keep flowing Uncle Ben on hand just in case.
Yeah, we are fortunate enough to have people who can deal with that particular problem.
Wonderful. Okay. Then which one should we cure first?
Spooky.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hearth stands up and says, "May I touch you?"
Be
If
nice
it's
to the
ne-
pretty
if
lady.
If it's necessary, I guess.
Be nice to the Bernie lady. Nice.
She puts her hands on your shoulder. She closes her eyes and she starts praying. How many checks have you failed?
I want to say it's like 4?
Okay, I think you failed 4. Okay. So let me see. I think this is instant. Let me just double check.
So, well, this whole literally made a fire thing is fascinating. I would like to use another power on her.
Go for it.
I would like to use Know Thy Prey.
Okay.
It's not resisted, so I'll just roll for it. Try to get at least an exceptional. And
Can you get a buff from the knowledge spirit or something?
yeah, I'm already factoring that.
Cool.
And 6 successes.
Okay.
Damn.
So what does that, explain to me what that gets you in the power?
Know Thy Prey. Success. The Aratha immediately knows every name that the prey is known by, as long as someone else other than the prey knows it. He also knows any alternate identity or fame merits that the target possesses. In addition, he becomes aware of every ally's contact, retainer, resources, staff, or status merit that the target possesses, equal or fewer dots than the successes rolled. I rolled a 6. With exceptional, the Aratha gains an additional piece of knowledge that someone somewhere knows about the prey. This is likely to be something valuable or relatively secret, such as a compromising piece of information about something the prey did or a social security number.
Okay. Let's see. Things that are useful to you that you get out of that. She's known by Hearth by most people, but there are some people that know her as Mary. And she does actually have quite a few contacts and allies and statuses, but they are, the majority of them are in mortal relations, and they are scattered around North America. Like she's got a priest friend in Chicago. She has status. She has status among the Southwest Catholic region diocese. The Catholic Church is surprisingly structured in quasi-similar way to how our global LARP club used to be structured. And so she has status at the region diocese in the southwest of America, of the United States. She has status among something called the Winter Court. It doesn't ping in your head as anything mortal, so you're assuming that has something to do with the creature she is.
Good reference for later.
Yeah.
Research into this.
And someone somewhere, and this also is just a weird, what the hell? Someone somewhere knows how to contact her keeper and plans on using that if they can ever get her alone. Whatever that means. So she touches your shoulders and says a prayer, and this actually, this is a full-on, the equivalent of like a major religious ceremony. She lets go of your shoulders, walks around the chair, continuing to pray this whole time. She gets down on her knees, in front of you and prays. The whole process takes a scene. But at the end of it, Spooky, roll me your resolve plus composure, because if she can't get at least one success over you, she wasted a willpower in a scene. And I'm actually off screen.
One success.
Okay, so hopefully she can beat that. Give me a sec. Okay, there we are. Get her. Okay, she got more than one. Okay, so at the end of an hour of prayers and chanting, she stands back up quickly and grips your shoulders, and her eyes glow, and you take 4 lethal as the contagion burns out of the holes in your body. You guys watch as like a Roman candle of flame comes out of his ears, his nose, his mouth. His pants start smoking. His eyes flicker a bit, and fire. And it's only 4 lethal, and it's only 3 seconds, but it's just like fire.
And Spooky says something loud and rude.
Right. And you feel Spooky, internally, it's all gone. Like she literally has burnt it out of you. The bonuses and the negatives, they're gone. She has, and you can tell that was like running a marathon for her. And she catches her breath, her eyes stop glowing, and she turns to Uncle Ben and is like, may we take a break for lunch?
Of course.
She had to burn an XP. She's gonna have to burn another XP. That's why they're having you owe them.
Oh, that makes legit
That's
sense.
fair.
They do that so that players can't just make this build and go from city to city and go, I cure everyone. Like, no, you don't.
I mean, you could just make it cost everyone's all of your willpower. That means you can only do one a day.
Okay, cool. So you guys go out to like the picnic and send some farmhands in
One a week.
and gather up supplies to have lunch.
Yeah.
During this time, do you like they're open to just random socializing. During this time, do you ask them anything or try to learn?
Spooky's probably gonna take this opportunity to play around with shapeshifting again since
It
he's
is
been
safe
form
again.
locked. He's been form locked for a while.
Absolutely. It is safe again. You no longer feel that resistance as you go to change, and you are able to do all of your forms.
I will go ahead and while we are specifically sequestered from the non-pack members, people not in the know, we'll fill them in with regarding the creature that we've interacted with that we know is coming this way slowly but surely, and the offspring of that creature that lives inside the gauntlet. One, to fill them in on it, and because as a trade of information, see if they know anything about it, and then additionally learn what I can about them.
Okay. Hearth politely follows along to you talking about the spirits in the gauntlet with the spirit children and the whatever, and gives you the look of somebody that is politely following along to a subject they know nothing about.
Eyes about this large, going,
Like, yeah, the sports ball is fun. Yeah, that is how you program. Right, yeah.
So that's how you hit that. Okay. Yeah.
File 0 sits there naturally, like is giving it some thought. Like, I did notice that you have guarding your place of power over there, one of my kind.
Mm-hmm.
We noticed each other as I was walking into the house initially. I would actually suggest trying to get him whatever he needs to become more powerful. Just like your kind, based on certain genetic factors, have different innate abilities or abilities that you favor versus others. It is the same with us. And he has the potential to be very, very powerful in regards to your situation. But I feel, and this is going to, forgive me, this is going to reveal my vice of allowing myself to watch movies. But I believe he needs a montage.
Okay.
Out of character, he needs some experience.
Yeah. So basically, if in the next 6 sessions before the big thing arrives, you devote 1 or 2 of those to Fisher, we're leveling you up.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have already helped him by giving him books that have rotes in them,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. But he needs more of that if he's going to raise his spirit beyond 3.
I'm now picturing the buddy cop montage of like Uncle Ben going, Fisher, we're going hunting. And he's like, what?
So
Just racing around a track with Spooky chasing him the whole time.
What was that, Dennis?
I was going to try to bring the conversation around to Parth and see if I can learn more about her.
Okay. Do you have specific things you want to ask, or do you just want to roll like a socialize or empathy?
Roll socialize is probably the best option for me.
You can choose presence or manipulation depending on your approach.
Presence.
Okay. Ingenuine.
Question: did you share that information that you got from that the reading the loom and whatnot with the rest of us at some point?
You could have.
Probably reading the loom. I don't know that I would have really had a good opportunity to pass off what I got from Know the Prey.
Yeah.
But let's do that. Spending a willpower on this for road action. And 5 successes. Inspired.
You are built for the things you do. It is
Yep.
wonderful. Okay. Yeah, it takes her a little bit to regain her focus, but as she's like eating a sandwich and drinking some juice, she's getting it back. She will explain that she understands people's curiosity. While not necessarily the rarest thing that goes bump in the night, she understands that her people are, for good reason, very good at not being seen or noticed. She will explain that the easiest way to classify what she is to reference the legends of Fae, legends of the Fair Folk. She will explain that I was not always this way. There are monsters that are not from here, and sometimes they choose humans to be their playthings, and they are infused with the energy of fate, the energy that makes the Fae and the Fair people, the Fair Folk, and they use that to transform the humans they capture. And sometimes we escape. I was transformed into a candle, into a fire on a prayer candle. And in my mind, I spent a decade on a candle that never completely burnt out. And my keeper, who thought of himself as some sort of angel, would occasionally come in and kneel and pray near me. And then otherwise I would be left alone in a room. So that is what I am. Sandwich.
So, putting all of that together with the reference to Keeper that my power gave me,
Yeah.
I think I'm getting a more complete picture, more akin to what I know out of character about this than previously in.
Yep.
So somebody trying to get her alone and contacting the Keeper would be a very bad thing for her. Okay. In that case, because I'm not a total monster most of the time, I will let her know that one of the powers of my people is to look at people and know things about them. And it is useful for hunting our prey and defending our territory. And that when I look at her, what I see is that somebody knows what she is and wishes to get her alone and contact her Keeper. She has an enemy. She may not know who it is, but she should be careful.
So as soon as you say that, her face like just goes pale. Filezera like looks over at her. She looks at him, and they stare at each other again for like 6 seconds, and then looks back, goes, "Thank you. Thank you very much. This is very helpful information."
I'm glad. You've done a great service to my pack and my family, and what I can do to return the favor is to let you know what I've learned.
Oh, thank you. And you get the feeling, I'll give you without like an empathy check, like you get the feeling that they can use that information. So maybe they were already suspicious of somebody. Maybe they've got an idea of somewhere to look, but you feel you gave them genuinely useful information and not just a comet's coming. Okay, cool. So, does anybody else interact with them before they go and cure Uncle Ben?
I have a question for
Mhm.
them.
Mhm.
I'm probably going to direct this to the will worker, but what experience, if any, do you have with and I'm not sure if this terminology is the same across the board, sin eaters?
There are some of them among the sworn. What we have limited knowledge, but we can answer some questions.
Do you know anything about their social structure? I mean, we, as what we are, have a very kind of strict and obvious to most social structure. I'm not sure if I know that like the will workers have different sects, and my understanding is the vampires do as well.
Yeah. So what I know is that the sin eaters that decide to work with other sin eaters often form what they call crews.
Hmm.
How do I put this without sounding condescending? A almost crude combination of street gang and cult.
Okay.
Similar to, and he gestures to your greater farm
Hmm.
and like mortal farm hands. It's like similar to how you have brought into the fold things that are not of you. Their crews sometimes do the same, and that's kind of where the cult aspect comes in. They also similar to your kind, if they decide to form a crew, they will often claim either a territory or a organization within an area. So some may claim the west side of a city. Some may claim dominion over every hospital in the city, no matter what part of town they're on.
Hmm.
But whatever it is, they will settle down and they will become the ones that police the dead and dying
Okay.
in that area.
Okay.
I hope that is helpful.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. As Chloe's like, damn it, they have packs just like us. I knew they'd be competition.
Yep. I'm like, this is why I have my plan. I, as a player, don't know anything about that, so that was very informative for me as well. Thank you, David.
I recommend Geist the Sin Eater. I also recommend their ready-made character sheet with their starting module that should be out in a couple months because my wife is one of the characters in it.
Cool.
Yep. Okay. So, John or Uncle Ben, do either of you try to get any info out of them or specific topics?
I got everything I wanted.
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Okay, cool. Okay, so once lunch is over, they go back to the barn. Before Hearth starts doing the ritual on Uncle Ben, she stares at file 0 for 3 seconds. She looks sad for a moment. And anyone who wants to, not required, anyone who wants to can give me like a wit's empathy to read into that.
Ooh.
It's 4 successes.
Yeah, my best skill.
Spooky, are you turning it into a dramatic?
Just one.
Sure, why not?
And 1, 4.
I'm in the same boat as Spooky in this case.
I will also take my dramatic.
Oh my god, you people. You
guys-
people.
I have a good dice roll for this. I just sucked at it.
It's fair. Okay, so with 1 success, there's more emotion there than just sadness.
Mhm.
It's more complex than that. Whatever communication they just exchanged there's more layers than it gave her a sad.
Mm-hmm.
Force assesses she is deeply ashamed and embarrassed of something. The people with dramatic failures, you don't know what was said in that like weird mind talk, but File 0 did something to make Hearth sad. Maybe he said something mean. Maybe he. You don't know. You don't know. But he
Damn
did
it, File 0.
breaking this little nun's heart.
Chloe's gonna walk over to her before she starts after she sees that exchange and kind of put a hand on her shoulder and kind of give her a look like, "Are you okay?"
Yes. This particular prayer requires that I share with another. I confess with another member of the Jeremiad a sin or mistake that I have not priorly shared with anybody.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's the priest looks at you and gives
That's
you
awful.
the priest looks at you and gives you the confession is good for the soul.
And she just kind of pats her on the shoulder and like stands back. Like Chloe's like, I don't necessarily agree with that, but okay.
So, with that all in mind, Hearth does the exact same thing with Uncle Ben as she does Spooky. Over the course of an hour straight, she prays. She kneels, she stands, she walks around you, she reaches up to the sky. She does all of that. At the end of it, give me a resolve plus composure check to see if she can push through your resistance.
Resolve plus composure, you say. Hold on a second.
Yep. I know how much she got.
This is one of those things that technically I want to fail, right?
Yes, you want to fail, but you don't actually have control of it.
Oh, God.
0 success.
Good. Good. Okay, cool. You cannot choose to make this dramatic. You already tapped that.
I already did that. Yeah.
But yeah, the contagion does not want you to fail.
Right. So I have to make the roll.
Right.
But
Okay.
apparently
How
I don't have that.
You failed.
I don't know if I actually failed anything
Well, you got
except for the
infected.
first
That's
one.
one.
Okay.
Did
Let
you
me-
fail any additional? And this
No.
includes the checks when you mutated, when you were
Okay.
shooting and failed those.
So then total 2.
Okay, so that's not so bad. So at the end of it, she slams her hands on your shoulders. Her eyes glow brightly, and you take 2 lethal.
Ow.
So visually to everybody else, it is a smaller amount of fire, but it still comes out of like his ears and his nose and his mouth, and it's just like.
Can I dramatic effect actually shift into human as that happens? Because
Go
then
for
since
Yeah.
I'll have my form back then.
Soon as that 3-second check round is done, all the positive and negative effects are gone. You feel your brain is
Yay.
clearing again as your intelligence rises, and you're able to shift back to human.
I don't feel as dexterous, but I remember the muscle memory for it.
Sure. So if you want, you can use that as justification. Good point. To spend XP to raise dex. Once I was better. But yeah, now she looks drained. And so File 0 like supports her
Mhm.
and says, and with that, I should get her back to our hotel. We have a flight early in the morning. But, and he pulls out a card and gives it to Uncle Ben.
I will take it.
Says you can reach us with that, and it is the sort of business card a priest would have to give out to somebody.
Mhm.
It's it actually says Father File 0, but just so you know, if anyone that does not have a supernatural template in your pack looks at it, they look at it and go, Father, oh, it's not important.
Freaking Guardians. Freaking Guardians.
That is one thing that like Chloe will probably ask while the hour-long thing is going on, and she's like, she looks at him and she's like, kind of going through her mental notebook, and she's like, I don't think you're a Moros. The only other thing I know is a
Yes.
Guardian.
Yes, no, Thyrsus, because
Oh yeah, because he's a Thyrsus. Yeah,
you do know the term guardian.
I do. I literally have a notepad on my computer with all of the terms I've heard in character.
As I'm instantly thinking of Edris Elba from The Wire. You're actually taking notes on this?
Yes. Yes.
So, I mean, you could try an occult check. I mean, you don't have a mage spec.
No, I mean, like, I'm just gonna ask him. I'm gonna be like, I don't think you're a Moros. Like, this is fun for Chloe. Like, she's meeting new people. Whatever.
Does Chloe actually have a notebook in her hand?
No.
Okay, good. So that was gonna be a lot of him going, let me see that.
No.
Wipe.
This is like her mental notebook, and whenever I mention it, it is not. She's not stupid.
He leans in. He goes, I am a guardian of the veil.
I know that one.
Yes, that one. And I have been chosen by God to awaken.
Overmost.
Overmost, got it.
Okay. Okay.
I know that type. I played
God.
that before.
That are literally any character.
Might be a
Because he doesn't give her the proper name, she literally in her head is like, there are God mages. Got it.
He agrees.
so seer of the throat.
Sarah knows what an occult is. Chloe is like, God mages. There are God mages.
All right, cool. But yes, so when that is all done, the gyro infection, which I chose to use as contagion, as the book suggests, is cured from your pack. So no more checks, no more risk of mutation. Spooky, I think you were like 2 more fails or 3 more fails away from technically being an NPC.
It was 2.
It was fine.
So yeah. And with that, you have a back door into Contagion Chronicle if you decide you'd like to go that way in like season 2.
Cool.
So, but yeah, they will wish you well. And File Zero, like you, Hearth looks like her mask is that of a woman in like her late 30s. You can't see through her mask, but she seems wrong. She seems so exhausted that whatever the illusion is cracking. And File Zero helps her to the car and gets her into her seat. And they leave. Yay! Persistent conditions defeated.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. So, we still have a half hour. What else would you like to work on?
So
You can now go out in public.
Yes, that's important for me.
Ben's like, I'm just gonna go walk around town. I don't need to do anything like super important. I'm just gonna walk around.
Oh man, I have so many people I have to talk to, so many things to do. Oh my god. Anyways, okay, so going back through the list of random shenanigans we have, guys, do we need to go through this list?
Right.
Checked off a few, but there's still.
What all is still on the conspiracy board?
Let's see here. Well, I'm removing the things that are no longer, or putting them as crossed off on the things that have been dealt with and or resolved. So the disappearances. We know what the disappearances were, which is the creature things.
Mhm.
The Dragon Hydra has been dealt with, so we can remove that from the list. Eric came back, so Eric is a thing that we need to do, so we should
Yeah.
do that. Let's see here. Lake Panorama is related to the other thing. Okay, so we have Becheloux and West Branch with that blown up gas station. We have the Iowa City with the Pure. We have the Hunters in Dubuque. We had the farm south of the Smiths was having difficulty, which we dealt with.
Mhm.
And now we have a couple of farm hands loaned out to them and veritably spying, but not spying. Let's see here. We have the creature that's coming to,
Kill all
eventually
of us.
be in this area. We have the Smith issue with him getting arrested for stuff
Mhm.
and his lawyer. We had the Hunters in Cedar Falls.
Did
And
we send them to? Were they the ones that we sent to
Iowa City.
Yes.
Yep. Or was the government ones? I can't remember which. We sent Hunters to Iowa City. We do have 3 things that need to be dealt with locally, which is whatever is happening, the supernatural influence that is happening to our territory that we have not yet fully identified. We have Old Man Smith's trial and the things surrounding that, and we have Eric.
I think that we should make sure that Eric is on board and not a threat. I mean, I don't think he's a threat right now, but I'm not 100% sure he's going to be on board, and I'd rather know that sooner rather than later.
I'm just going to also, I'm going to say I agree with this, but I'm also going to point out that we could effectively fold him into the pack by essentially making it clear that we would like to encompass the Smith farm as being part of our pack so that they can be protected.
Mm-hmm. No, and I definitely think that's the way to go about it. I don't know if the Sin, like on an out of character and in character level, I don't know if the Sin Eaters could find one another. And the longer we wait to have that conversation, the sooner he might get snatched up and we lose the ability not only to grow our territory, but to have a different power set and skill set in our pack.
Agreed.
Yeah. So how do you want to go about trying to convince them to be in your pack?
Oh Lord. So I've actually thought about this a lot because I was like, so Chloe's gonna call Eric
Okay.
and ask him to come over.
Okay. He will. He'll come over in like an hour after he helps around with some thing on the farm.
Okay. I think I'm probably gonna take him into the barn. And if other people want to be there, that's totally cool. So Chloe's gonna sit him down and offer him like some iced tea or whatever. And
Sure.
So Eric, you know, the night that you showed up, my friends and I kind of handled that situation, and I know that you had a lot of questions and things were really strange. And I know that you still have a lot of questions. But I want to be honest with you and share what I figured out and what I know. And I think it's also important for you to know how I know that.
Okay, sure.
There are a lot of things in this world that I think before you popped out of a drain in a gas station would have been a little beyond belief.
That's fair. That was an experience.
Yeah, that was an experience for all involved. But there are things that most people would think are just stories that are actually real.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
like fairies?
Like fairies,
Oh,
like vampires,
huh.
like werewolves,
Okay. So am I a
spirits.
zombie?
You are not a zombie.
Uh,
I
Uncle Ben will
completely.
be present and laugh at that a little bit, and also pour a drink for him.
hmm
Or a brain for him. You mean?
No, that's completely legitimate. Why you might think that, Eric? I get that. Spirits and ghosts are real.
Ah. That explains why I've been seeing some of our dead relatives talking to me.
hmm
That makes more sense now.
Yeah. So you are what we found is referred to as a sin eater.
Hmm.
The people that come back when they should have been dead, and they take care of, ghosts and the dead and that sort of thing.
Okay.
The reason that we kind of know about this is because we ourselves are not, strictly speaking, normal.
All right. So what are you then?
And she's just gonna shift into wolf form. She's like, I don't.
It's like so he let me give him
Chloe's like, I'm gonna use the words. This is really stressing me out. I'm just gonna show him and be done with
He's,
it.
he's literally just gonna
anymore.
pass out in his chair.
That'd be a straight
have
up
him sit
integrity
down.
check if he's human.
Well, he's not human, so good
Yeah.
for him. But
He's better than that.
so he gets enough successes on his willpower check to not just run out of the barn.
I believed in him. I knew he could do it. It was a test.
So he does do the like almost fall out of the chair thing.
hmm
Goes, looks around, and he looks at anybody that's in the barn and goes, "Hey, all of you can do that?"
I will shift up to the near human, just like while I'm sitting there with the with the whiskey bottle.
6 inches.
Just yeah, and
Oh,
Chloe will go back to being human after a second or two, just for demonstration.
he's thinking. And he goes, "That really big dog that kept chasing rabbits onto our property
Was
wasn't
not
a
me.
dog."
More than likely not.
and I'm going to guarantee you that the intent was not to chase them onto your property. That just was what happened.
Okay.
And we have this thing about territory. We do not like to impinge upon other people's territories normally without due cause.
And somewhere nearby Spooky's listening, and he's like, I can't catch all of them.
Much to the cat's chagrin.
So that actually brings up an important point, Eric. So part of what we are, like, we have what's called a pack, and that doesn't have to be just werewolves. We have people with different skill sets, people who are normal, that sort of thing. And our main priority is to protect our farm, our territory, and our family. And I know that that is something that is really important to you as well.
Yeah.
And my thought was that if you wanted to, kind of join forces with us, to work with us, then we could also help protect your family and your land. And we've already done that. I mean, trying to get your grandfather a lawyer, and that sort of thing. We want to be helpful, but there are kind of metaphysical power stuff that we would also be able to do and be helpful with if we all join forces together. If that makes sense. I know this is a lot to process, and I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm just trying to be honest.
He sits there and he's contemplating. Go ahead and give me your persuasion pool.
Oh, sure.
Ooh, can I help?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can. Yeah. Go ahead and have +2 dice because you guys have generally been helping their farm.
Okay.
Okay. So.
How many successes was that?
That was 7.
So how
is
many
that
extra?
Is that a +7 to her die?
Yeah.
Todd? Okay. Have +7 dice.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Okay.
I apparently
1,
rolled
2,
really
3,
well.
4, 5, 6, 7, and then if I burn my inspired, I get plus. What happens if I burn?
Burning Inspired makes it so that if you have at least 3 successes, it's automatically exceptional.
So you
It
don't
doesn't
burn
give you
that
bonus
until after
dice.
you roll.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm also going to burn a willpower. This is important.
Add 3 dice to that.
And Chloe is literally built for this check. That's 20 dice I'm rolling. Watch me roll nothing.
Yeah, you'll roll something. On 20 dice, you will roll something. I say, having rolled literally 0 successes on a pool of 30 before.
If you
Right.
roll no successes, you have to take the dramatic failure, though.
If you roll no successes, that means you win.
8 successes.
Damn. Okay,
Huzzah.
cool.
This is my job.
Cool. So, he's thinking, and he's about to talk. And then something changes on his face. Those that were choosing to be in the barn, give me a wits plus empathy.
One, 2, 3, 4. I'll spend a willpower for that myself.
I will spend my expired on this because I got 3 successes.
I will also spend my inspired for because I got 3 successes.
Cool.
I still have one of those, a couple of those.
Okay. So, with 2 successes, something with his demeanor shifts. Not negative, like he doesn't go from "I'm considering to fuck you," but something his demeanor shifts. The people that have exceptionals, his demeanor shifts in such a way that you have seen similar things with possessed humans. And he goes to open his mouth and he says, "These terms are agreeable if we can feed the soil with blood." And he just
hold on a second. In character, Uncle Ben is just going to bust out laughing in the not quite evil maniacal laughter, but right on that edge. And then
not what you expected Eric to say.
I'm gonna look at Eric and I'm gonna ask who I'm talking to right now.
And because this is Eric, we need the ground to stay moist with blood.
This is a we're not right at the normal time where we would normally do that.
But it's coming up.
But so something that we have as a ritual of importance amongst us is that there is an old rite of dedication to the land that does involve the spilling of blood upon the soil.
Excellent.
And that occurs yearly. Usually, we might do it more than once a year if we're experiencing harder times. But it gives life to the soil.
Excellent.
And a life to the spiritual realm as much as it does to everything else.
Of course it does. And then he sits back and he goes, "Yeah, that sounds like that could work."
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll just need to work out like logistics of how your, as you said, metaphysical abilities and mine could benefit each other's territory to become one territory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could work.
Okay, great.
So, I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something back at the farm, but I appreciate this talk, and yeah, I look forward to working with you.
Okay, great.
He just like gets up, like he like just woke up from an overlong nap. He just like walks back to his farm.
And he leaves the barn. I look at Uncle Ben. What the fuck was that?
That was whatever most likely brought him back.
Okay.
Because based off of what James has told us and what you have learned, he spoke to something and then came out through a drain. I'm going to guess it didn't just leave him alone afterwards.
Oh, God.
Much like gesture to the terror bird right here.
Yeah, I get
That
that.
He did mention that he's had other conversations with it since then.
That's true. That's true. That's...
So, logical leap here.
Yeah.
But hey, with that, you can add him to your pack.
Woot. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, which also makes your totem very happy because technically with that, you've expanded your territory south.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably do that again here after we get an agreement with the with the farm south of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Bridge building.
not going to tell you how to spend your XP, but you'd absolutely be justified if you guys wanted to toss like another dot or two in totem, because your totem definitely feels the love and could grow if you guys invested in that.
Well, we got him in the pack without me having to marry him. I'm going to consider that a win.
I mean, that's still on the table if you want
still
it.
on the table.
No. I'm just saying when we dropped him off, the members of his family were like, we got to make sure he doesn't fuck up again. And I was the only single eligible woman in that room, and I left because I'm not dealing with that bullshit. You've met my ex-boyfriend. How well do you think that's gonna go?
When you kill your husband, you don't want him to come back 9 more times.
No. Legitimately though, Chloe will look at Uncle Ben and be like, "You think that unstable motherfucker that I dated for 2 months, who's still completely obsessed with me, if he finds out I'm dating somebody else, is just gonna move the fuck on? No, he'll show up here, he'll pick a fight, we'll have to kill him. Oh no. But that's going to cause problem with the other pack, and we just don't need to deal with that bullshit."
We wouldn't have to kill him.
Okay, I would kill him.
Okay, you might kill him. But he might learn a couple of lessons in the process of...
Yeah. Or Eric might kill him. I don't know what that man can do.
That might be more likely.
Right.
Or the terror bird might maul him to death.
Right. There are plenty of options that end in his death, which I'm not necessarily opposed with, but the political ramifications thereof are complicated, and I don't want to deal with them.
Killing
If
people
you
is
mess
wrong,
with the
Chloe.
ball,
The bull.
Literally don't mess with the bull.
Or the cat. The cat might kill him first,
if
honestly.
you mess with the bull, you do get the horns.
Do. somewhere off way in the distance, the bull.
Who calls me?
Right. Hey, is Twitch frozen for everybody else?
I have not looked of late. Yes, it is.
Okay. Then what I may need to do is I may need to upload the Zoom video. I need to upload the Zoom video of the past 2 times we
Getting
talked.
green lights from OBS. So.
Oh well, no big deal. Okay, still got like 10 minutes. Any other like personal stuff people want to do? John, you haven't done much today.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot.
You want to go rob
Today.
somebody?
No, not today.
I need to go frame Smith for more crimes.
Can I go to the convenience store and see if somebody else pops out the drain?
I mean, I work there, so if somebody else pops out of that drain, it'll probably be while I'm working anyway. That'll be really obnoxious, though, I have to say, if that drain is now like an ongoing place where a bunch of seniors are just going to pop out every couple of weeks.
Listen, the next one that pops up, I'm just gonna shove it right back down.
I don't know if that wouldn't it just come back out again? I mean, I don't know.
It depends on how long you wait.
Direct portal to the underworld. The drain in the back of the Casey's.
I mean, isn't that the case normally?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. So that crosses Eric off the list.
It does.
But we still have Smith's trial to deal with now
Okay.
as well.
Okay. If you would like, I could plan for Smith's trial next session. It'd be a good session for the mental social people.
Unless we want to have a session of murdering something and then do
just
that.
have a session for murdering of something to get the more murder people.
You know what? Actually, since we're now allied, and though we have not purchased it, we are expanding essentially our territory into that farm. There is something that I will do between now and Smith's trial, which is that I will go online and make it look like all the crap that I've been doing to make Smith look bad is coming from the company that's been trying to purchase this stuff. Like I'll leave like a not super obvious, but like a breadcrumb trail to make it look like they did all of this stuff.
Do int computer plus like 2 for your equipment, plus 1 for the knowledge, or plus 2 for the knowledge spirit, so plus 4 dice.
They did do a little of it, so it's not that plausible.
Right. We're just adding to what they've already started doing.
Or enhancing the truth.
And I'm going to spend a willpower just because, you know.
We are terrible people.
I am not a people, thank you very much.
No. Actually, by all technicality, we are the people, and everyone else is not.
I got 4
To the
successes,
book.
but I'm going to go ahead and burn another inspired just to get
There
an
you go.
exceptional on that.
Sounds good. You are confident that you have redirected the trail. It may not get noticed immediately, which actually will probably work out well.
Yeah.
Because that means it'll get noticed like right when the trial's starting. And so hopefully his defense is going to be like, new evidence, dramatic moment. Your Honor, I call to throw out exhibit 3 through 20.
And also, if necessary, the lawyer is ours, and so hints could be dropped if the trail is overlooked.
I mean, we could also, hire that private investigator to dig into that even more. Just saying.
Fair. Okay, cool. So, so next session, do you want the trial or do you want to fight something? There are still some bad guys out there that aren't the big bad that I could just have pop back up in the news to be a little more obvious. Or you can go do the trial.
I'm
Anybody
good with
preferences?
whatever.
Whichever. I can do either plot.
Cool. Then I will have the things that are still bad out there be in the news among news articles before next session, and then you can choose what do you want to do. You
Okay.
you can even potentially split the party if you would dare. Remember, you have like 20 NPCs in your pack.
Is it really splitting the party at that point?
Right. At that point, you're like, okay, so
This mob go that direction. This mob go that direction.
James and Spooky, and the vampire, and the Sin Eater, and the bull,
And Fisher.
and Fisher go fight the things.
Oh no, we're the ones who go to the
No,
trial.
I'm sending the bull and the terror bird to the trial.
I was gonna say
The
definitely
bull
gonna
is
send the bull
key
the
to
trial.
our defense.
If nothing else.
Now
The bull will be stubborn.
now I'm picturing the bull in like a full lawyer getup, like a suit.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
And the cat's the assistant defense attorney.
The
Terror
cat-
bird. We can't forget the terror bird.
The Terror Bird is the bailiff.
Terror Bird is the bailiff. He's wearing like the sheriff outfit,
Oh my
but
god.
their arms crossed.
No, and the cat has to be the judge.
Oh my god! I don't even think it take a full minute of googling to find a picture of a cat.
No. It wouldn't. Also,
Push
this
the
is
bench. Present your evidence. Your evidence does not bounce.
Yeah, it did not take a full minute to find a cat as the judge picture. I had to know.
All right then. All right, so in that case, I know what options to present for next week, and we can go ahead and start wrapping up. Thank you for everyone for joining. Does anybody have any last things they want to say about the game or life or?
I got Garu back.
I have missed playing this, so I'm glad that we are back at it. And additionally to that, I appreciate all of you and look forward to more.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, to anybody that watched today or listened today or that watches in the future, thank you, and please be safe out there. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.